Welcome back! Kung may pagbabago sa inyong mga bahay, mayroon din dito sa ating pinagtatrabahuhan. Una, kukuhaan kayo ni Manong Guard ng inyong temperatura. Kapag mataas ang inyong temperatura at may iba pang sintomas, kailangan kayong matingnan sa ating klinik o ipadala sa pinakamalapit na health center o pauwiin kung may sakit. Siguraduhing malinis ang mga kamay bago pumasok sa pinagtatrabahuhan. Ugaliin ang pag-sanitize ng kamay. Bukod sa face mask, maaaring humingi ng pang-disinfect na panglinis ng inyong workstation sa admin. Panatilihin ang physical distancing at all times. Kapag may meeting o diskusyon, iwasang gawin ito sa masikip at maliit na lugar. Siguraduhin na may tamang ventilasyon at limitahan ang bilang ng mga tao sa meeting room. Sundin ang 1 meter rule sa physical distancing. Masarap man magkwentuhan tuwing break, iwasan na magtagal o magsabay-sabay at dapat mayroon pa ring physical distancing. Kung hindi maganda ang pakiramdam o may sintomas ng sakit, manatili sa bahay at abisuhan ang pinagtatrabahuhan upang sila rin ay makagawa ng mga hakbang. Huwag kalimutan ang mga natutunan dahil ito ang ating sandata para maging handa sa new normal.
Hello everyone! Maintaining good personal hygiene is also key in preventing the spread of COVID-19. Wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use hand sanitizers frequently. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth if your hands are not cleaned or sanitized. To properly wear a mask, first, make sure your hands are properly cleaned before touching the mask. Inspect the mask for tears or holes. The metal strip of the mask should be at the top, while the white side of the mask should be on the inside. Place the mask over your face, covering your nose, mouth, and chin, and make sure there are no gaps. Mold the metal strip according to your nose. Remember not to touch the front of your mask or your face. To properly remove your mask, ensure your hands are once again clean and remove the straps behind your ears without touching the front of the mask. Fold to enclose the outside surface of the mask and discard immediately. Then, wash your hands. Cough or sneeze at the kid. Cough or sneeze into the crook of your arm, or cover your mouth and nose with a tissue while coughing or sneezing. Immediately discard your tissue into the trash bin and wash your hands. If you're feeling unwell and have any symptoms such as fever, flu, cough, or sore throat, please stay at home and seek medical treatment. So, let's all be responsible and work together in reducing the spread of COVID-19. Hello everyone! Physical distancing is essential in preventing the spread of COVID-19. The novel coronavirus is spread through droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes. By maintaining a distance of 1 meter or more, we can reduce the chance of infecting one another on a daily basis. This also means we should sit at least 1 or 2 seats away from each other, especially when we study or work in the areas such as the PBL area, collaborative or quiet study area, laboratories, meeting rooms, or any other common areas. To make it easier, there'll be signages on the tables and chairs and markings on floors of various entrances and counters to remind us to keep a safe distance between ourselves. We should apply the same when attending lectures in lecture theaters or when working in laboratories. If you're using the elevator, use your knuckles or elbows to push the button to minimize contact with any surfaces that may be contaminated. Inside the elevator, there will be designated markings laid out for you to stand in and face away from one another. If you're taking the escalator, apply the same distancing, 1 meter away from people around you. Now, we all know canteens get crowded during lunch. We've been there, but we can change that. Pre-order your meals beforehand and pay using your e-wallet to ease any congestion in the canteen or food outlets. Apply the same distancing rules when dining in too. If it's too crowded, it wouldn't hurt to take away and eat somewhere else, knowing you'll be safely distanced. Finally, as a sign of greeting, instead of shaking hands, place your right hand over your heart. So, let's all be responsible and work together in reducing the spread of COVID-19. Hi everyone! It is our responsibility to ensure IMU is clean and safe. So, here is how we disinfect our workstation. Let's start off by wearing a pair of disposable gloves. For non-electronic surfaces with high touch points, such as tables, chairs, light switches, phones, teaching equipment, and etc., spray the surface with disinfectant and wipe it dry with paper towels or cloth. Or, wipe them with soap water and dry them with paper towels or cloth. Immediately dispose paper towels into the trash bin, wash the cloth, and dry. For electronic equipment such as keyboards, monitors, or remote controls, wipe them using alcohol-based wipes and then use paper towels or cloth to wipe them dry. Or, you can also use sprays containing at least 70% alcohol and wipe the surface dry with paper towels or cloth. Immediately dispose paper towels into the trash bin, wash the cloth, and dry. Once you're done, carefully remove your gloves and immediately dispose them into the trash bin. Immediately wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not readily available, use a hand sanitizer containing at least 60% alcohol. If your hands are visibly dirty, always wash with soap and water. Remember, if any chemical splashes into your eyes or if you accidentally rub your eyes while handling the chemical, immediately flush your eyes with running tap water for at least 15 minutes and seek medical treatment if needed.
Welcome to Jollibee! Dito tayo, let's be safe, be happy. Sa Jollibee na tayo, una ang ating safety. Sa Jollibee, alaga ka. Sa Jollibee, safe at ang saya. Pagpasok mo pa lang, may safety steps dapat sundan. Bawat sulok tingnan, maya't maya ang linis niyan. Physical distancing, laging paalala. Bawat marker sundin, para safe ang lahat. Dito tayo, let's be safe, be happy. Sa Jollibee na tayo, una ang ating safety. Sa Jollibee, alaga ka. Sa Jollibee, safe at ang saya. Sa Jollibee, safe at ang saya.
This is SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses named for the crown-like spikes on their surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 can cause COVID-19, a contagious viral infection that attacks primarily your throat and lungs. What actually happens in your body when you contract the coronavirus? What exactly causes your body to develop pneumonia? And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells in order to reproduce. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a hard protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between the people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelope are spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside a cell in your body, where it takes over the cell's internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of new viruses. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land in your mouth or nose and then move into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes in contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus that houses all its genetic material. The coronavirus, on the other hand, doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus's surface. A packaging structure in your cell then carries the spikes in vesicles which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All the parts needed to create a new virus gather just beneath your cell's membrane. Then, a new virus begins to bud off from the cell's membrane. Now, with the virus spreading in your body, how can you develop pneumonia symptoms? For this, we'll have to look into your lungs. Each lung has separate sections called lobes. Normally, as you breathe, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, through smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Your airways and alveoli are flexible and springy. When you breathe in, each air sac inflates like a small balloon. And when you exhale, the sacs deflate. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries, and then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into your alveoli so that your lungs can get rid of it when you exhale. Your airways catch most germs in the mucus that lines your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. In a healthy body, hair-like cilia lining the tubes constantly push the mucus and germs out of your airways, where you might expel them by coughing. Normally, cells of your immune system attack viruses and germs that make it past your mucus and cilia and enter your alveoli. However, if your immune system is weakened, like in the case of a coronavirus infection, the virus can overwhelm your immune cells, and your bronchioles and alveoli become inflamed as your immune system attacks the multiplying viruses. The inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could develop lobar pneumonia, where one lobe of your lungs is affected, or you could have bronchopneumonia that affects many areas of both lungs. Pneumonia may cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It can also lead to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that you need a machine called a ventilator to help you breathe. These are the machines that save lives and that medical device companies currently ramp up production for. Whether you would develop these symptoms depends on a lot of factors, such as your age and whether you already have an existing condition. While this all sounds scary, the push to develop a coronavirus vaccine is moving at high speed. Studies of other coronaviruses led most researchers to assume that people who have recovered from a SARS-CoV-2 infection could be protected from reinfection for a period of time. But that assumption needs to be backed by empirical evidence, and some studies suggest otherwise. There are several different approaches for a potential vaccine against the coronavirus. The basic idea is that you would get a shot that contains faint versions of the virus. The vaccine would expose your body to a version of the virus that is too weak to cause infection, but just strong enough to stimulate an immune response. Within a few weeks, cells in your immune system would make markers called antibodies, which would be specific for only the coronavirus, or specifically its spike protein. Antibodies then attach to the virus and prevent it from attaching to your cells. Your immune system then responds to signals from the antibodies by consuming and destroying the clumps of viruses. If you then catch the real virus at a later stage, your body would recognize it and destroy it. In other words, your immune system is now primed. Collecting evidence on whether this will be possible, safe, and effective is part of what's taking researchers so long to develop a vaccine. It's a race against time to develop a vaccine amid a pandemic. Each step in vaccine development usually takes months, if not years. An Ebola vaccine broke records by being ready in 5 years. The hope here is to develop one for the new coronavirus in a record-breaking 12 to 18 months. While all of this will take time, stay home if you can, to protect the most vulnerable. And don't forget to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and as often as possible.